Dave, can you share a real world example of shadow IT in action? And just kind of an example of that and how it created risks for the business.
Sure. I had a chuckle just a minute ago when you made the comment that this is not new to IT, right? Like the shadow IT. And ever since the internet came out, I think is what you said. And the first thing that popped into my mind, and this is not what we're talking about today, but it is kind of the precursor, right? It's back in the day, shadow IT was somebody bringing their home computer into the office and jacking into the network for updates because high speed was available at the office and it wasn't available at home, right? And so that's what we had to worry about. But today, it's a much different thing. Look, a couple of real case examples. 2023 Chat GPT, Samsung. We've all heard of a small company named Samsung. We had a semiconductor department, coding engineers. They use Chat GPT for some coding and some meeting notes. And the next thing you know, it's part of the public model, and competitors are now accessing all of their internal intellectual property. Keep in mind what you're talking about, and the things you've mentioned earlier, and what we'll further discuss is AI opens the door for unsanctioned apps and shadow, but the biggest shadow there is the supply chain. Right. So what happens is your employees, your team, your staff, they're getting an application that is written by another company. Right. We don't know if it's been vetted. We haven't approved it. Nobody knows what the back end of that is. Right. And it's free. And now what happens when that software inventories the data on your computer? So it's not so much what the employee puts in to a learning model. But for instance, with Microsoft and Copilot, if that's not handled properly, Copilot is indexing everything that you have for your data sources, right? All of that stuff. And if you don't put guardrails and limits and things on what that data is, and if it's not corporately sandboxed, I mean, now what data is being shared? If it's on SharePoint, Copilot just indexes and crawls, right? So now those are the things that are opening up the door to a big problem. Those are the real examples.
Those are real world. We see them both every day. Yeah, Rob.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Dan, one thing with what Dave was just saying, Copilot is very powerful, but permissioning in SharePoint and OneDrive and all that is extremely important, because if it's not permissioned correctly, then kind of what we were talking about earlier is accounting information or payroll information may be visible to just normal users if it's not, permissioned correctly.
Yes, Dan, that's also where you get into things like sensitivity labeling, right? Where we have to encrypt it or not, right? Is that data sensitive? And if it's encrypted, can it then be indexed by Copilot and so forth? So there's a lot of strategies that go with it. It's not just turning it on, like you're saying.